Welcome to Lansdowne Raw, the voice of the fans. I'm Martin Prendergast and I'm joined by Conor McAvoy as we catch up on how Ireland got on against Senegal last night in Dublin. Conor was at the game. How are you getting on, Conor? What was your thoughts? I know we saw the aftermath, but what was your thoughts overall?
I'm good. I enjoyed the overmass last night. It was good to chat about the game after, but no, I'm good. I'm a bit tired now. I got home quite late last night, but I'm glad to get home, and we got a positive result behind us, and more importantly, a positive performance heading into Tuesday's game, where we'll hopefully, as Callum O'Dowd would say, probably pick up the 3 points and beat Luxembourg. But no, I'm delighted with it now, Martin. I think one more important, I want to hear your opinion on it, because obviously you weren't on the show last night, so we didn't get to hear your propaganda as such.
Propaganda, Jesus. No, overall, really, really pleased, obviously, with the performance. And we'll obviously go into that in detail. But just obviously a bit of housekeeping first. If you haven't subscribed to the show, make sure you do follow us on YouTube and all our social media channels, so you know when we're going to be doing these kind of shows. We will obviously be covering the Luxembourg game on Tuesday, where myself, Conor, and David are all heading over to Luxembourg to see Heimer's team take on Luxembourg, obviously. Looking forward to that, especially after the positive result last night, and more importantly, the performance. On this show, we're going to go through our ratings as well and give what we think out of 10, obviously, for each individual player, based on obviously what we thought they did really well, and obviously brilliant performance. I think overall, like a welcome change in a way. I mean, it seems a long time away now. The whole Kenny era. And there's obviously been a lot of fallout from this game last night. Some really good performances, of course. And I think one thing from Heimer, hearing him speak so positively. I mean, I watched the game on RTE, so I'll be able to give my insight into as well.
How'd you get that in England?
Yeah, that's a good question, Conor. I watched it, on RTE. We have means. But
RTE player, you should have said.
RTE player. Yeah, RTE player with what was it? One of them
VPNs on.
VPN, that's it. Yeah. But absolutely, really enjoyed actually. A different change, obviously, watching the game on TV than usually being there. And we did speak about that in the pre-match show. How you definitely get a bit of insight into kind of, probably in a way, sometimes the media agenda and how they're thinking things are going with the camp and everything. And obviously the TV coverage, it focuses on so much within the game. Obviously it focuses on the crowd, but it focuses on the subs bench, where you can see like the coaches all there and in conversation between John O'Shea and Heimer during the game, and obviously reaction to goals and key moments. But so it was kind of a nice experience to kind of do that for something I haven't done probably for quite a while now. So I'll be able to kind of give my insight into that and how positive obviously Stephen Kelly was as a co-pundit as well. So it was good. But so just general overall my view on it. I thought it was a very, very positive result. Good performance. I did say I think I might have said it was going to be a 1-1 draw, so I might have got that right. I almost got the team right as well.
I did say Jack Taylor on the left, so don't start this.
I did say Jack Taylor would play. I didn't have Ryan Manning, I don't think, in the team, but it was interesting actually. Heimer, one of the things he said on RT afterwards was, they with that balance of Ryan Manning and Robbie Brady, that when they have the ball, they try to get Robbie Brady higher up, and then Manning can kind of drop in a little bit or go a bit higher inside. So that's obviously some tactical things that we haven't really had, I don't think, a great deal of insight into that kind of plan of how they were going to do that. And it allowed Doherty to kind of sit into the kind of a back three at times as well, which he was quite comfortable doing. But some really good standout performances for me. I mean, Kelleher, without doubt, this is something that Didi Hamann said as well. He's one of the top 5 goalkeepers in the Premier League, in his view. Shay Given, also interestingly, as we said on one of our previous shows, talking about that transfer move to Brentford, he actually said, he was surprised that one of the top Champions League English teams didn't come in for him, but that perhaps it was, they're looking to kind of go for him in maybe a year or two, because Brentford are historically a bit of a selling club. So perhaps let him have that time there, get experience as a regular number one, because he hasn't had that, let's be honest. And then someone else will come in for him. So I thought that was quite interesting insight into him. But he was surprised that no one did, because they rate him so highly. And, we'll obviously chat about the game in some detail a little bit, but yeah, this save. I mean, Stephen Kelly called this out in the commentary because it wasn't clear, was it? From where you were, did you know he saved it?
No, I had to see the replay
Yeah.
back to know it was he actually got a fingertip on it.
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolutely brilliant save, a great picture, of course, there as well. But courtesy of the FAI. But yeah, he just got a little bit onto that, and it was amazing. And he didn't have a save to make in the first half, so to have that concentration levels as well shows like how important he's going to be. And Didier Mann as well on RTE did say, he thinks one of the main reasons Ireland may qualify for the World Cup is going to be because of Kelleher, because he's such an important player now and he's number one. So it'll be interesting, obviously, going off to Luxembourg on Tuesday to see how Heimer approaches that, with perhaps giving Josh Keeley or O'Leary a bit of time in goal. But because I think that is important. But Kelleher, spoke really, really well afterwards. You would expect that from him as a kind of seasoned pro now. That and his experience, of course, with Liverpool. But you would think, he knows he's got that number one shirt now, and that's why he said he was so keen to get that move. So he was quite delighted that he got that as well. Obviously, Casey McAteer, he got man of the match. A fantastic goal. I mean, he took it really, really well as well. And again, they showed on RTE some fantastic. The movement for that was really good. Like he kind of anticipated to get back onside for Collins's kind of header, and he got onside, and then he headed it. Obviously, great save to be honest as well. But the way he finished it was brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, his performance overall, Conor, was obviously deserved man of the match, but overall, really, really good, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was delighted. Like McAteer played is by far his best performance in Ireland shirt. Obviously, it's a lot easier to have a good performance when you're starting a game, which I think we all wanted to see. He had a good end of the season with Leicester, and we seen that really transfer over to an Ireland shirt. He looked very up for it. Not even just what he's shown on the ball, off the ball, his work ethic, off the ball, breaking up play, nipping in, making a couple of tackles. You could tell he really, 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 it meant a lot to him last night getting the first start and trying to make an impact. And I think he knows himself for that right wing back role, which he pretty much is playing. With the way we set up with the 3-4-2-1. He's either looking for probably playing in that right wing back role or the right 10, but it seems from Heimer he's playing more of a central player in that right 10 role. So like he knows his competition from Festi and from Ogbene when he comes back. So he probably knew it was a big opportunity for him to impress last night. And he took it with both hands. He was the best player on the pitch. I think that's not deniable at all, really. He was the best player on the pitch. His goal was excellent. The way he took the ball down after and composed himself to finish the half volley as such was lovely. So yeah, I was very impressed by McAteer, and it was great to see. And he's kind of an option, Martin, that we kind of I know he came in, made his debut last year against England, but he was kind of one we all thought, he could be one of them 1, 2, 3 cap wonders, and that's the end of him. But he's shown now that he's more than ready to step it up, and I think next season, especially, he'll be playing every week in the Championship, will only boost his stock and will only improve Ireland.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I mean, again, the key point you said there, that's a work ethic. They showed that actually some of his clips. I mean, he did have that chance early, didn't he, on the right hand side where he kind of just floated that crossover and the keeper got it quite easily. Well, one opportunity he had down the side, but he was very energetic and brought that kind of power to it. I thought, like, really good. And he's a big lad. I mean, look at the photo of him there. He's actually quite imposing kind of figure. Like, looks a fantastic athlete, and he played down how easy the goal was. He said it was a tapping really, but it was far from that. So
and the thing is, he's, as we do see with like the likes of Benny and Festi, they do have quite a few limitations. Like, as good as they are athletically wise, the speed and causing nightmares defenders, more than McAteer in terms of that raw speed and power. But McAteer has a bit more, you'd say, finesse about him, a bit more probably composure on the ball, probably decision making would be a slightly bit better, which you did see last night a couple of times. You'd see, I know there was one time with Ida went mad at him, but no, you can see he's that bit more maybe just culturedness playing out in the right. Obviously, he doesn't have the same physical attributes, but he still is a brilliant athlete that he can get up and down. You can see he's the type he could get up and down for 90 minutes, and it doesn't really faze him, especially in this 3-4-2-1 role, which or system that Heimer's playing, which I'm a big fan of, Martin.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I think it is the way we've got to go now, and again, I'm just really pleased for the kind of the squad in the sense that a lot of them got game time last night, which obviously we'll go on and chat about. But another thing they did mention on TV was, they showed McAteer afterwards, and really like a big hug from Heimer, and Didier Mann said as well, we hadn't seen that from him, this man management kind of stuff. I I mean, the lads kind of did a kind of half lap, didn't they, of honour at the end, obviously thanking the fans for their support this season, I suppose. But yeah, you could see that brilliant engagement, I suppose. And I think for a player like him coming in to get his first start and then scored a goal is a massive like boost for him confidence wise, going off now to obviously play in Luxembourg. So we will obviously chat to us about some other highlight players for us, but we'll just remind everybody of the starting lineup last night, and then we'll obviously get some ratings from Conor, and I'll give my view as well. But we did see as well a bit of a positive reaction from Mr. Eamon Dunphy. Very positive, saying we hadn't seen this for a while. No, I mean, this is for Dave. This is for Dave because he's such a big fan of Dunphy. But he was very happy, obviously, seeing how he thinks with the quality of the group, perhaps that we're there as well. So he's got a big change around there, and saying he hadn't seen much of Heimer, but now he thinks that we will be going to the World Cup. So it's a big positive thing. I mean, we can't get too carried away with it. I mean, Senegal were good, very strong side. Obviously, they rested a number of their key players as well. Brought them in later, and they did have a difference. The game got very untidy towards the end, didn't it, with all the changes? Heimer said that as well. Probably wouldn't have made as many substitutions in a real qualifying campaign game. And then obviously the goal we spoke about a little bit about I heard you last night on the aftermath. Probably was offside.
It was offside.
It was offside. Yeah,
it was because Gallagher kind of just. You can see the way Gallagher saved that, Martin. He just flicked the leg out, kind of just like last minute reaction. Yeah, and there was nowhere near enough pace or power on the shot to make him do it.
And the rebound actually hit him in the head, didn't it?
It did.
The shot actually hits him in the head and then goes in.
That's He was just very unlucky. Like in fairness, if it was a qualifier, well, you'd hope that would have been ruled out, and you'd expect it would have been ruled out. But it is a bit disappointing in the end, Martin, really, to draw that game. But I don't.
It did get scrappy, but and to be fair, Senegal at the end did get in behind a few times. They had a few chances. So I could see it coming. They had a good last 10 minutes.
I think as soon as we went to bringing Ferguson on, I think that was the only real mistake I thought Heimer made, was not going like for like with Ida. I thought if you're going to bring Ferguson on, I don't think him and Ida worked too well. I know it was still Ferguson was kind of playing that right 10 pocket behind Ida, but I just don't think that's how you get the best out of Ferguson. Although I thought Ferguson did look classy when he came on, but I think it took away a bit from Ida. Ida looked wrecked after 70 minutes, 65 minutes. Ida should have probably came off. Probably should have left one of the 10s on and put Ferguson in the number 9 role. I think we would have been a bit more solid. I think the system would have worked a bit better. But I guess that's just what Heimer maybe wanted to do, just to get more lads a minute. Maybe it's the fact that Ida probably won't play a minute now against Luxembourg. It'll probably be Parrott and Ferguson will play as, whether it's one of them comes on after 60 or one of them plays the first 60. I think that'll be split between Ferguson and Parrott, and they'll say to Ida, you got your 90 minutes against Senegal, so he can be kept happy with that. So I'm guessing that's probably part of his thinking, but no, I think that's probably really the only mistake he made tactically.
Yeah, you have to see how they come out the game, of course, as well. So, and we'll have the latest news, of course, from camp as soon as we get it. They'll all be back. They'll be travelling over to Luxembourg now, so we'll then know how the kind of team and squad have settled in over there, and who's trained and who's fit, and we get press conference kind of information from them. So, just a reminder, then this was the starting lineup with Kelleher in goal, Doherty right back, Collins, Darrow, Brady across the back as a back four, Jason Knight and Jack Taylor were in midfield. Well. And obviously Smallbone was in there as well. Manning on the left and McAteer on the right with Adam Eder up front.
It was a bit different in fairness.
It was. We expected
we expected Smallbone to play higher up because Heimer said in the pre-match presser, because this was made when the lineup came out, presser, that he sees Smallbone as playing higher for Ireland, as a higher midfielder, whilst he actually went and played him playing as like a number 6 for Ireland yesterday, which I do. Martin, I think, is by far his best position. I don't think he's that good as a number 10. I think he's decent as a number 10. But I think Smallbone's, some of his best attributes are sitting deep and letting him control the game and picking up the play. And because he's an excellent right foot on him, that he can control games, he can ping passes. And I thought Smallbone kind of went under the radar last night. I thought actually he was very good.
He was good. One thing I obviously made a few notes through the game as well. I'm probably one of the big disappointments for me, and I am Mr. Positive of the podcast. I wasn't overly happy with our set pieces, our corners. Too many of them went into the goalkeeper. They were awful, and that's something that we pride ourselves on, basically being really, really good at. So I think that's something that we would have to work on, just the quality. I mean, we did actually kind of half score from one in a sense because it was that kind of phase of play. But you know, the first one he put it into the goalkeeper's arms, and I wasn't impressed with Smallbone from that perspective. I think I agree with you in the sense of the positions, maybe a 6 or a 10. I think even that, you get so few chances international level. When he went through that time, and he could have slipped Manning, but he should have scored that without a doubt. Like, I think a top class player, probably a little bit maybe sharper than he probably is at the moment and where he is fitness wise and everything. I'd have backed Finn Azaz to score that. You know, that's what I mean. In that position, perhaps Sammy Schmolik probably would have scored it. I thought. I mean, you look back at that. He's got a lot of the goal on the far corner, the left
you just
corner.
See, like it wasn't even that he put it either side. The keeper had to pull out a top class save. He just hit it straight at him, pretty much. Which was a disappointing thing for me. You can always hit it at the post, or it's going into the corner, and the keeper makes a top class save. But the reality it was a gilt-edged chance, and he made the keeper have a very comfortable save, which is the issue with that for me.
Yeah,
but the thing on the set pieces, I seen the Dave last night. Dave was his own wee world. He thought it was class when I said Matt Doherty came over in the first 10 minutes. Matt Doherty came over from right back all the way over to where the left back would take a throw at the far corner. He'd take a long throw in, and he took a good 20 seconds, and then he realised probably I can't throw it this far and threw it short to Manning. It was so stupid. I don't know what that was. Maybe it's part of the tactics now to take advantage of our height and set pieces and use maybe Doherty has a good long throw. Actually, Rocco Vata has a very good long throw if he's going to be playing come September. But no, I thought it was a bit weird just to bring him over from. Because the thing is, especially when you're out of shape, like I don't know what Dave's on about. When a right backs, I know he's playing right centre back as such when you're in possession, but that's still dragging him out of position over the left back to only go and throw it short, which they could have easily picked up on and gone on a counter attack, which was a bit frustrating for me. But all the set pieces I thought quite poor. Our McAteer goal came from a corner, but it was kind of the third phase
of it. Yeah.
So it wasn't like the corner went how they planned, and none of the corners went as planned. But I guess it was all right in the end.
It was, I noticed obviously the Doherty coming over taking that throw as well. They done it a few times actually, and you're thinking I've never seen that before from as if Matt Doherty's like Rory Delap basically. But obviously that's something they are kind of trying to work on. But that balance then. I mean, there was one stage actually, and Stephen Kelly pointed it out in commentary. They misplaced the pass out onto the left, and Brady had gone left, and Doherty had gone and was well out of position. And if the ball had been better, Ireland were in trouble. So they've got to be very, very careful on that because
do you think
better team in transition will do that.
On set pieces, do you think Robbie Brady's set pieces are actually any good? 99% of the time, he hits the first man.
Yeah, again,
always the first man. Yeah, always.
Didn't think much of his corners as well. But
even every time he plays for Ireland, never step. I know he got that assist against Finland, which was a lovely ball. But 99% of the times he crossed the ball and it just hits the first man in the corner, and it's the most frustrating thing ever when it hits the first man.
There was just on that though. There was bits in kind of transition when we were breaking out, and Brady went forward and there was an opportunity to just put that ball over in the box and put more pressure on, and he just checked back, and it was like build it up again. And I was thinking, sometimes you want a bit of risk and reward, I think, from that. And just obviously we're going to come on and chat about some of our ratings and performances, but we did go long a little bit at times last night, which was really good, I think, because you do have to mix it up. I know Dave was saying there's nothing wrong with that, and there isn't, because I think that we have to win the second ball sometimes and things like that. And I would say that I probably saw more than I have recently from Adam Eder doing that kind of dirty work up there. Jack Taylor as well. I know you said last night on the show that how he done a lot of running, a lot of hard work. I mean, he looked quite wrecked coming off, to be honest. But Eder did make those runs behind. It was something we've obviously spoken about Sinclair Armstrong, that he does that kind of running. Eder doesn't always seem to do that, and Eder did it last night, which was really good. And I do get your point as well. Back to Ferguson with just playing them both up front. You didn't know who was doing that, and that's where it got very messy towards the end. But overall,
but I do think with Brady and Manning on the left, I think that's kind of the issue with having the two of them. I know Manning comes in as that like left 10, But Brady probably picks the ball up, and he naturally, his instinct is probably who's my winger down this side to pick up the ball or make a run behind. But Manning's already come inside. Come inside as a number 10. So Brady probably thinks he has one look, one scan, and then there's no one there, or it's Manning, and it's like, well, I can't put the ball in behind him because he doesn't have the pace and he's not a natural winger.
Yeah.
So I have to cut back in, and it kind of removes that thought process of doing that. Like I do, like Manning there is just a stopgap at that left 10.
Yeah,
well, he's not good enough to play there long term. If he's going to play for Ireland in the future regularly, he's going to have to play a left back. Like, but no, he did all right in fairness last night. But he does have his limitations playing in that role.
Yeah, he does certainly. And I mean, look, but just back to the team. So I know this for the visual audio, visual viewers of this. We know that obviously Smallbone did sit in as a kind of 6 alongside Knight, and Taylor played a bit more advanced than what his graphic shows. But just to go through the back four, then really, well, Kelleher we've spoken about. What would you give him out of 10 for last night?
I'd give him. I was going to say 8, but I'll probably just give him a 7. Give him a 7.
Yeah, I would myself. I'd go 8 with him. I think key moments in games, and he will be key for us as well in these qualifiers. And to not have to make a save in the first half, distribution was very good as well. I think he's just very confident now, and he switched on. So I'd go an 8 for him, especially that save.
7 because he didn't have really. He just had that one save to do, and he didn't have really anything to make. And just to play devil's advocate, I know a few people were giving out about Kelleher's for that goal, saying he should have done better, even though we all think that it was clear your boy was in offside vision or is offside and in his vision. But just because the goal was allowed, I'd give him a 7.
Yeah. And there was one as well, wouldn't they? They hit the post, didn't they? On the right-hand side, he got down to as well. So that was actually a pretty decent save. So, yeah, he made a couple of good saves. I thought he was good overall and comfortable as you kind of expect now. Matt Doherty?
6. Nothing. Not negative. He just had a very solid game, I thought. Done nothing he done one nice pass in the Manning. We slipped passing, which was a lovely bit of vision. But no, I'll just give him a 6. I just thought he done his job, done it very solidly. What did he play? 70 minutes? I thought Doherty, I thought he was solid.
Yeah, same as that. I'd go 6 for him. I thought, yeah, like you said, very solid. Nothing spectacular, but just what you want from him, and understanding that role now. I think as well, with like Seamus's kind of injury challenges, I think that's his now to kind of. I think he will be there. Obviously, I think for this qualification.
That right centre back role suits him perfectly. It's the exact same role he plays for Wolves, so it's perfect for him.
And then our captain Collins.
6 again. I don't. Yeah. Collins, in fairness, he did dominate the Senegalese. Dia, you call him the striker. He was very physically dominant, and I thought 6 as well. I think himself was decent.
Yeah, I thought it was good. So very solid. I mean, again, back to set pieces though. He's got a bit kind of game smart a little bit, because the referee kept talking to him, and the lad who was marking him, I forget his name, but he was quite small, and they kept saying that on TV, like why are they matching him against him? Because he was quite small. But then as soon as the ref was just looking, he's had a chat with them. You're always going to get the benefit as a defender there, because they're very rarely going to give you a penalty. If you're both pulling and stuff, you're going to benefit the defensive side, whether that's right or wrong. But he gave away some soft free kicks in there, and he was getting frustrated with that. And he did go down with a slight injury at one stage, I remember. But hopefully, because he went off the knee for a while, so just that he was really anxious to get back on. Obviously, we were defending, and obviously down to 10 at that time. But no, I thought he did very well. 6 overall. Yeah, good captain's performance. Darragh O'Shea?
I give Darragh O'Shea a 7. To be honest, I thought he was of all of the 3 centre backs. I thought he was the pick of them. Just for them long diagonal balls, he was playing out wide out to Casey McAteer, or even if it was Doherty pushing up Brady. I thought O'Shea, defensively wise, I thought all 3 lads you'd give a 6, but I just think that O'Shea looked that extra bit of the part on the ball when he was playing them diagonal passes, so I'd give him a 7.
Yeah, I'd give him a 7 as well. I thought even closer to an 8, to be honest. I thought he was one of our best players in the first half, especially. He really set the tone for us. You can see this new way. Even Doherty did it as well. This bit of following your man and engaging straight away. They put in some proper rattler challenges. Him and Brady really set the tone, I thought, for Ireland, kind of trying to be dominant of that kind of that physical part of the game. So Brady, then, what's your vote on him?
6, I would give Brady. I just think he was decent. Really didn't. He didn't really have much to do defensively. He was, just a 6, to be honest. There was not much to say really on Brady. Just the set pieces were a bit frustrating.
Yeah, I was frustrated with the set piece, as we said, but 6 overall. Again, he brings that leadership to the team now, like game smarts, and very at times it is frustrating sometimes watching him because he's got the ability to find that ball, but when he does cut back, you can understand it as well that just it's Ireland keeping the ball, and I think he gets that a little bit more than rather than us getting involved in a kind of really rushy kind of game. He will just kind of have the nous to we'll cut back, let's just keep the ball, knock it along the back 4. Or back 3 or whatever it is, and then just switch it, open up the play the other side. So yeah, I think he's a key player for us, of course. And then in the midfield, Jason Knight.
I'm conflicted here. First half, certainly an 8, definitely an 8. I thought his ability to win free kicks. If I said last night, he's the best player in the world at winning free kicks. Just the composure he has, just to back into the defender and drop to the ground to take all the pressure off Ireland. Even when Ireland, there's a lot of times last night, Knight would pick the ball up in difficult positions, but using his football brain to win a free kick to relieve all the pressure. Second half, I thought he was good. He couldn't. There wasn't the midfield got mixed up a bit. So I'd stick with an 8 just because I like him. He deserves that praise. I'll stick with an 8.
Yeah, I do like him. I'll give him a 7. I mean, he was great the first half. I think he just faded a little bit, probably tiredness a little bit. So we'll see how he gets on with the second one. But yeah, again, like Robbie Brady, he's got that kind of experience now, I think, and he's been trusted in that kind of engine room now. I know Cullen wasn't there last night, but I think they did well overall. Like, we weren't dominated in there at all. So breaking
he's
up
a Premier League player in waiting, but he was playing against.
He is, but we want him playing though. That's the thing, didn't you? You want him playing.
But I think he's shown last night that he can.
He can. Yeah,
because especially when you're playing with an Everton, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you, stuff like that. And if he's able to, I think he'd be loved by Everton if he went there. So, or wherever else, because I know that's where he's been mostly linked to. But I thought he was excellent.
And then alongside him, Will Smallbone. What was your vote on him?
I give Smallbone a 7. I thought he was very good. He done a lot of dirty work, which we don't really see from our midfielders. I thought him and Knight linked up very well. Maybe that's why we've seen the best really of Knight last night. The best we've seen of him in a long time in an Ireland jersey. Yeah, Smallbone, I give a 7. I thought very good in possession. He played a nice couple of balls. Broke up a lot of play as well. So no, I was very happy with Smallbone last night, and it shows that, as I said last night in the stream, we don't have to just rely on Cullen and Knight, or more as such of the thing is, if Cullen's in the squad, he has to start no matter what. Has always kind of been the mentality. But I think it was shown last night, Cullen doesn't have to start every game no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with that. I gave him a 7 to Cousin Will. It was good. Shame for him he didn't get that goal, because I think that would really boost his confidence. And I think he will do well at Southampton, obviously, this year, playing regularly, hopefully, and get over the fitness injuries and fitness challenges and things like that. And then Jack Taylor as well. What was your thoughts on him?
I thought he was very good. I'd probably give him a 6 still, though, just of the 3 midfielders of such that was lined out in midfield. But I thought he was very good, defensively very solid, put in a lot of dirty work, done a few excellent tackles. I know he hurt himself with that slide tackle, but it kind of subbed up his performance. He gave Everton last night. I think it was a good first start from his full debut coming in, and I thought he was excellent. He's shown that option now that he can have that. He can be a starter for us if needed. Hopefully that's just the start of Jack Taylor really playing for Ireland, whether it's starting or coming on off the bench. But no, I was happy with his performance.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I give him a 6. Yeah, I gave him a 6 as well. I thought, he was solid enough and done a lot of work. And it's a big thing as well. Some of these lads, making their first starts and things, and they're under a little bit of pressure as well. They've been working all week. They've got a show, and they've kind of grabbed this opportunity because obviously the World Cup qualifiers coming up, so they want to be in contention for it. And then we spoke about Casey McAteer as well. What was your rating for him, though?
I would give him, as he was a star man, I'd give him a 9. Just so we've indicated who our star man was. I thought Casey was excellent, really. I thought he got his goal, which probably pumps him up from an 8 to 9. I think his overall play was probably an 8 out of 10, and then give him the goal, I'd give him a 9. Yeah. So I thought, excellent work rate, was brilliant on the ball, looked very solid, offered us a lot down that right-hand side, and the dream first debut for McAteer.
Yeah. Overall as well, I'll go a 9. I think the goal, he's under he's understating it basically how difficult that was, because it was really alert, obviously, to get up on that rebound and bury it as he did. Ryan Manning on the left, we spoke a little bit about him already, but what was your rating overall for him?
Probably a 6, maybe a 7. I probably would say for the case that is Ryan Manning, I'd probably give a 7 because he's playing out of position really, and it's not really natural. I know he's played there as underage football, but for his for what he's limited playing in that role, I'd probably a 7. If it was anyone else playing that role, I'd probably give a 6 because it was kind of a straightforward position or performance. But I thought he done well, so I'd probably give him a 7 because it's Ryan Manning. But if it was anyone else playing who's more natural to that role, I'd give him a 6.
Yeah, I'd give him a 6 overall. I think, just I felt a little bit sorry for him, and he had that one chance, a great block actually with that was to stop that. I don't know, was it going in or not, to be honest, but he had that chance, and Will Smallbone could have slipped him in for that one. Would it have been easier? I think I actually was shouting, slip it, but when you look back, Smallbone had to take on that shot, which was saved, and it wasn't a great finish as we spoke about. And then finally, Adam Ida up front. This is obviously from the starting lineup we're rating originally. We'll go through the subs in a minute, but Adam Ida, how did you rate him?
Probably a 6 as well, to be honest. I thought started well, made his movement behind in terms he was doing a lot of runs. Sometimes he wasn't getting fed the ball. At times I do worry though that he's making runs just for the sake of it rather than making runs for actual reason, really. But no, I thought he was decent. I thought he worked hard when the ball went into him. He held it up well, but he wasn't really holding up. But it was kind of when I was pulling behind, he took a first touch and laid it off quite well. I can't really give him any more than 6 because he didn't really have any chances, or we didn't get to see any of them in the box. So yeah, I thought he was solid.
Yeah, I'd give him a 7. I thought he was good. I liked seeing those runs. He did make this really weird run across like their back four, and he went zigzagging in and out, and then he made the run, didn't get the ball, but he was offside by about 10 or 12 yards before he even kind of started trying to move back, because they actually played quite a high line at times, Senegal, and I was thinking, why is he not moving back? But I'd give him a 7 as well. One thing I would say about him, the little spat at the end, fair play to him, because he started that. Because they were trying to obviously block the obstruction and obstruct Kelleher's sight of it. Kelleher played it down, said, I crouched down, I could see it was nothing to me, and don't really know what it was about. But Ida went straight over and shoved the guy, and then was kicking off a little bit. I mean, it could have turned really wrong if they'd have scored from that, but I didn't mind that little bit of biting with him.
We don't really see it with him, do we? It was good to see that, and then Phillips was coming over, and they were all getting involved, and it pissed me off though, that bloody ref. There was 3 minutes added on. That free kick was given in like the late 89th minute.
Yeah.
There was about 2.5, 3 minutes of that was just of him trying to sort it out, and then as soon as the goal, so he should have played probably to 95 or probably 96, and he just blew it up straight away. So that pissed me off because I wanted us to get another chance on the counter, give Festy something to run at or something. But yeah, it was good to see him get involved in that bit of a spat, because we don't really see, because Ida's the type of personality you don't really see that extra bit of bite out of him really at times, and it was good to see him show that bit of extra. But in fairness, like the two lads standing there's nothing that Ida can really do. Like as long as it doesn't interfere with Kelleher, and like they were going to move before the ball was kicked anyway, so it was like there was probably no need getting involved with it. But it was good to see that bit of bite that we don't really see out of Ida and many of the other Irish players. But we knew we were going to get it out of Killian Phillips, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, Killian Phillips in the interview after, we will come on and talk about that a little bit more, but he actually said it was like handbags and stuff like that. But he said, like, we need that little bit of nastiness, so they've obviously spoke about that in camp. They shouldn't be backing down to anybody. Not that they would, but we've had that in the past. Heimer said, he said, oh, we need a bastard in there. But, you do need these lads. And I think that even Phillips said, like, that team spirit is there of, we aren't letting one of our own get smashed or something like that, or pushed or whatever. We'll all come in there, and it did keep going. It was quite good, and I think that's why the ref kind of blew up early a little bit, because he just thought, well, might as well.
And but Martin, on all the subs, I'd probably just all 6 of them, just give them all a 6.
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Too. I mean, Matt Doherty, Killian Phillips, just coming on there. I'd agree with 6 overall for all of them, but let's just talk about the subs who came on for who. So Killian Phillips coming from Matt Doherty, brilliant to see him make his debut. Amazing press conference after with Tony O'Donoghue, and seeing him go to his family and stuff, holding up a flag. incredible. I mean, again, like, look, we shouldn't be surprised, but I mean, his story is amazing as well, and just the pride of representing Ireland. He said, I don't want to be a one cap wonder. He's got the hunger now for it, and absolutely brilliant. I think the story of him is incredible as well. So he's, for me, I hope he gets more game time now on Tuesday. Andrew Moran came on for Will Smallbone in the 81st minute. Didier Mann actually was a little bit scathing of him for their goal. Just said that he got beaten far too easily.
Yeah, he got past him too easily.
And he said, to be honest with you, that's where you want to make the mistake. That not in a World Cup qualifier, you want to make it in these games and learn from it. So that was a nice thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know RTE get criticised for the commentary sometimes, and some of the lads even on Virgin Sports sometimes are, they have a very clear agenda. But there has been this positive swing, I think. Now Shea was very positive, so too was Didier Mann, and picking out these little bits in the game, because I think sometimes it's good to highlight those kind of things. So obviously the management will see that as well. But yeah, got to learn from it, of course.
Like we all know how good Andrew Moran is. It's just it was kind of the thing. He came on last 10 minutes, probably wasn't up to the speed of the game.
Yeah,
it was Iliman Ndiaye, who is known for being an outrageous ball carrier, and he kind of probably took advantage of the young slight lad coming on, getting past him. But he learned from it. And I think it was like he was dragged out of position into a row. Like he was kind of a bit left back at that moment, where it's not natural to him at all.
Because they also had the chance, didn't they, late on, the header that just went past where the forward got across. He was quite small. I forget who he was.
Oh, yes, came at the back stick, yeah.
Yeah, and he got across in front of Scales far too easily. Again, it was one of them things that, we got away with it there, basically. And that was just, again, match sharpness, player coming on as a sub, not at the speed of the game. I mean, it was good to see. I was happy for Scales getting another cap, to be honest. I think he has done well. He's had a lot of flack this year with Celtic and stuff. So happy for him getting on. Came on for Robbie Brady, 85th minute. Festy came on in the 81st minute for Casey McAteer. And obviously Evan came on for Jack Taylor, who I thought did kind of do a lot of work and stuff. It didn't really work with Evan playing in the two up front. But one player I thought was good when he came on, Jake O'Brien. I know they switched it a little bit there, but he came out at one stage, didn't he? You could see some of these players who come on, and he made that driving run through, and you're thinking, like, amazing to see that, but that you're trying to prove something, aren't you? Then when you're doing that, because we do like that. I mean, that's something that Stephen Kenny did speak about.
And the thing is, you can just see him
seamlessly carrying.
You can seamlessly see him fit into that right centre back role as such, where Matt Doherty was playing, that he could fit in with ease. Like, obviously, I know it's kind of similar to, it's actually quite similar to how he does with Everton. So, it was good to see him do that. And you can tell Jake O'Brien probably feels that he's probably Ireland's best centre half. Well, that's how he should feel anyway, because he's playing regularly in the Premier League. So hopefully he can kick on. I'm sure he'll definitely start on Tuesday. I think that's his sort. I think he's probably the most likely of anyone to come in, and I'm sure he'll do well, which it'll be a big opportunity for him again.
Yeah, I mean, it might be interesting. I spoke about like Casey McAteer and obviously the man of the match performance, and saying how well he did on the right and how he's got a challenge with like Festy and Chidozie Ogbene when they come back to fitness. But Casey could easily flip over to the left and Festy perhaps be on the right now. That could be something it'd be worth him kind of exploring that, I think, with Casey on a high after such a good performance, to see what he offers out there. But one thing for context on this, I mean, I know, look, we speak about Irish football all the time, of course, but like Stephen Kenny, some interesting comments on social media, just saying from a guy called Dylan O'Connell, and he said Stephen Kenny wasn't a bad manager for Ireland, but the right person at a bad time, and Heimer is actually building on the foundations. Sometimes it takes countless hours to get those foundations right. And he just said, for added context, I just thought this was good when I read it today. Kelleher, O'Shea, Collins, Manning, Knight, Smallbone, Aida, Ferguson, Omar Bamadeli, Moran and Scales and Eberseli all made their debuts under Stephen Kenny, which we kind of would assume, we know that's the case. But, I think Stephen Kenny will get credit in due course. We've always said what a great lad he is. And, I think we are seeing some of this stuff from the foundations now. I mean, it's an indictment of previous tenures with the FAI where we weren't capping certain years and pushing, players through. And I'm hoping now that this is where this team and squad are going to take that opportunity now. What did you think of the management overall then? What would you rate Heimer and John O'Shea for the out of 10 for the for where they are, Conor?
Sir, I'll give them a 7. To be honest, I thought they set up very well. The subs they made, usually I would have been, if that was a qualifier, I would have been critical of the subs, but because it was a friendly, you tell he was just trying things and he wanted to give lads minutes, really, because there's probably some lads mightn't play the second game and he probably wanted to get them minutes in the first game. So no, I'm happy with how they done. Heimer, you can tell, is very vocal on the sidelines. So no, I'd give them a 7. What would you give them?
Yeah, I'll give them 7 overall. I think there is work to be done, of course, from every game. You kind of take the positives and the negatives, of course. I think for me, as I said, set pieces, a lot of work to be done there. I think we do have that height. We can score off set pieces, and I think we need to capitalise on that as well and make sure the quality. Even I would say some of our corners there, Will Smallbone took. Brady is in acres of space on that left-hand side, just towards the edge of the box. And I think that's something that they maybe should have changed up a little bit, just slip that ball across and whip that cross in. I mean, Brady has got that wonder of a left foot still, and perhaps hitting a rolling ball might be different and offer something different because you kind of got double movement within the box and things. But look, overall, I was very happy with it. You know, they're a really good side, Senegal, as you said last night. I think it's unbeaten in 23 now. They hadn't conceded in their last 7 games, I think. So to score against them was good. And, you know, I know they're going off to Wembley to take on England. But, you know, we're off to Luxembourg equally. So I'm hoping we will now get a very positive result and that the lads are on a high because, you know, I think you know, there is support for it now as well. Getting a good result was a big positive. Just one final rating for you, Conor. Put you under the bus here. The Raw faithful, the Lansdowne Raw faithful, Lansdowne Road faithful. What would you give from the crowd there in the ground? Because obviously I wasn't there, but what was the atmosphere like? What would you think of the fans? How did they get
That's not
the
the Raw faithful. That's not the Raw faithful. That's not the Raw faithful. That's different. Atmosphere on the ground was probably like a 2.
Right. But it wasn't, I mean, it was, I'd say it was one of the lowest crowds. I mean, they said 35,000, I think, but, you know, loads of tickets weren't used. You could read Aviva.
I heard people were going up to the gates and they were scanning their tickets. And they were scanning another ticket, and they were scanning another ticket.
Yeah.
So there were people who weren't going; they were getting their points or whatever. So members or friends. So, yeah. In fairness, like I wasn't expecting a good atmosphere. Martin is what I was expecting. Like, but yeah, it was like a 2 out of 10. It was dead.
Yeah. And the Raw faithful though, what are you going to rate our viewers for the aftermath watching the show? Were they positive? Where are they? What's the ranking for them?
It was a good solid 9, 10 out of 10. It's the most positive I've seen the comments in a long time. Even when we were beating Bulgaria, there was still a lot of negativity, but there was a lot of positivity last night. Rolling Stone wasn't in there for some reason. I wonder, was it because Lennon Miller in Scotland lost to Iceland? Maybe it was a bit of that. So maybe, but no, it was actually a very positive comment section. I'm sure you've watched it back, Martin, so I'm sure you would have seen that. It was a lot of positivity.
Yeah, no, I did. I caught some of it. I will actually catch up with the audio version. You can get all the versions of our shows on Spotify, where you get or iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. So do make sure you listen back. Obviously, subscribe to the channel as well and follow us all on our social media channels because we're the most interactive Irish football podcast out there. We're all off to Luxembourg now. We will catch up with you soon for the preview show of that. But thanks for joining us today. Give your comments as well here. It does really help us grow the channel. Any comments if you think we're right or wrong, or who you think where's Conor gone completely wrong with his analysis of this? We do appreciate your input, and hopefully anyone traveling to Luxembourg, we'll see you over there. Do come over and say hello to the 3 of us. I'll have my son Keane with me as well. But we'll be there with 400 Irish fans supporting the boys in green, hopefully getting another 3 points, hopefully getting another win, Conor. So thanks for joining us and all the best. Come on, you boys in green.